When we thought we'd have a good life in Florida, we thought that the schools were safer in Parkland. That's why I moved to Parkland. And then 10 years later, I sent Alex to high school, and he's murdered in the deadliest high school shooting in U.S. history. So,
I'd like to just back up a little bit and hear about, in your words, like, who was Alex?
thank you, Mark. That's the most important thing to me in my life is my little boy and remembering all the wonderful times that we had together. Alex, in any picture you look at, he's always smiling and he's got these cute little dimples. But Alex had a lot of tragedy in his life. When Alex was just 4, his mother, my wife, Debbie, passed away in her sleep. And I thought that that was the worst time of my life. I was a single, now a widower, and had 2 little boys I had to raise on my own, all by myself. And then several years later, I met this wonderful woman whose husband died of a heart attack. She lived in Port Washington, New York, and she had 2 little girls named Morgan and Avery. And friends of friends knew both of our stories, and we obviously had this shared grief. And so I met, just to try to help her, and fell in love with her. And then we had to make a decision. Do we take the girls and move to Florida, or do I take the boys and move to New York? And I knew I couldn't handle the cold weather. So when we thought we'd have a good life in Florida, we thought that the schools were safer in Parkland. That's why I moved to Parkland. And then 10 years later, I sent Alex to high school, and he's murdered in the deadliest high school shooting in U.S. history. So,
So, I know it sounds from, just doing a little research on my side, it sounds like he had a very eclectic range of interests. I noticed from just your website that he was a big sports fan, big New England in
yeah,
particular, a
yeah.
sports fan, which as a New Yorker, of course, I would not tolerate that if I was lucky enough to meet Alex. Um, but other things too, I really caught my attention the fact that he was a musician, and I think that you had mentioned that his grandfather also played the trombone.
Yeah.
What was he like, just as a regular kid? Like, what was his personality like?
Yeah, he was just a sweetheart. Even as a teenager, he was just a lover, and he used to give me the best hugs. And but he was a great athlete as well. Alex played in multiple Parkland rec basketball championships that he won. And as you mentioned, Alex's grandfather played the trombone. And then when it came time to, I said, Alex, you got to do something. You got to do band, or you got to do sports. And then he said, okay, I'll take band. And in middle school, he gravitated, and he tried out, and he did the best on the trombone, just like his grandfather did. And so in middle school, he doubled up. He took 2 different instrument classes, and then in preparation for high school, he knew that he wanted to be in the marching band. And Marjorie Stoneman Douglas had a good marching band, but it wasn't great. And then when he went to high school, his freshman year, just 2 months before the shooting, they won the state title, and
Wow.
Alex was there. That was one of my happiest memories, is being on the field when they won the state title. So, and then Alex loved Nutella crepes. I mean, he's my kid. I was born in the '70s, and so he loved the band Chicago. His favorite song was 25 or 6 to 4. So
Oh, oh boy. That's amazing. And you're saying he was a real lover, huh? He was a compassionate, kind human.
he was a sweetheart, my little sweet boy.